Mouse Pi for Hire is a stylish noir boomer shooter with hand-drawn cartoon visuals. Since there's no macOS port, you'll need workarounds to play it on your Mac. And in this video, I'll tell you about the ones that worked for me. I'll start with the two best ones, then give you some optimizations, and finish with the rest of the viable methods. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now let's get to the ways to play it. Here are the two methods that gave us best results. The first one is called Boosteroid, and it's the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. This is the most plug-and-play solution that we found. The main draw of Boosteroid and cloud gaming in general is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. You can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. Boosteroid is a really good fit for this game because mouse looks simple at first glance, but it is heavier than that cartoon art style suggests, especially once fights get busier and you start pushing higher settings. That problem mostly disappears in cloud. You can aim for maxed visuals with 4K and high stream frame rates available, so the big hand-drawn look gets room to breathe. The real caveat is that fast movement can make compression and input delay more obvious, especially if your internet isn't very good. Still, for anyone who wants the easiest, most reliable way to play, this is the method I'd start with. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. Crossover is hands down the best non-cloud method to play Windows games on Mac in 2026. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. That said, Crossover is still perfectly viable here, as long as you've got the raw hardware for this game. The tests on my M3 Max MacBook Pro with 36 gigs gave me around 60 FPS at 1440p on high with D3D Metal and M-Sync. That is good enough to make local play worth considering, and an M1 Pro with 16 gigs feels like the minimum Mac where this starts to make real sense. The good news is that, with the right hardware, the game works almost without issues. Some occasional stutter is possible depending on your configuration, but those are usually not going to affect your overall enjoyment. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single-player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. Here are some sensible in-game tweaks to give you a stronger local performance and possibly even reduce any compression blur if you are streaming it through the cloud. For mouse, start with render scale at 90 and shadow quality on low. Those two do the most work when fights get noisy and the camera is whipping around. I'd keep texture quality at medium so the cartoon surfaces still look clean. The other methods are a variation of this theme. xCloud is Microsoft's cloud solution, and it's by far the worst of the cloud solutions mentioned here, but it comes with the benefit of being free if you subscribe to Game Pass. AirGPU is the rent a gaming PC by the hour option. You buy credit, spin up a Windows machine, then stream it through Parsec or Moonlight. You pay by the hour and prices vary depending on what machine you rent, but the average is around $1. Then you also need to pay for local storage, which is $3.50 per month per 50 gigabytes with a minimum of 100 gigs. Shadow PC is the subscription version of the same idea, where the lowest monthly subscription fee is $34 for US users, and it only goes up from there. EU users get a cheaper plan option that costs €20 per month, but that's still more than twice the monthly fee for Boosteroid's base plan. Sikaru Gear is the free DIY version of Crossover. It works great when it works, but it's more inconsistent, less intuitive, and has a lengthy setup. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikaru Gear itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikaru Gear, just click the respective video in the description, and it will show you exactly what to do. Here's how I'd think about the options for mouse. Boosteroid is the easy recommendation because it lets the game look the way it should without asking your Mac to brute force it locally. If you want the least setup and the most predictable result, pick this one. xCloud is interesting if you already live in the Xbox ecosystem and you are happy buying the game there for cloud play. It is convenient, but it is still the weaker cloud experience overall, so I would treat it as a value option rather than the best option. AirGPU and Shadow PC are basically the full PC experience in cloud, which is ideal if you want mods, extra tools, or the most familiar setup without worrying about translation layers. Crossover is the pick for local play. It gives you offline access, lower latency, and better long-term flexibility, but you are trading that for manual setup and a few early quirks that may need fixes. Sikarugir is the free DIY route. Since Crossover already works and has better guidance around it, I only see Sikarugir making sense if you really want to avoid paying, and you do not mind troubleshooting more. So my simple recommendation is Boosteroid for most people, Crossover if local play matters most, xCloud if you already buy into Xbox, and Sikarugir only if you enjoy tinkering. So these were the best methods for playing this game. If you want to explore more popular gaming titles you can play on your Mac, check the videos that should now appear on your screen, or simply browse through our channel. Also, if you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.